Let me take you back to my very first proper guitar lesson. I remember my teacher asked me, how many ways can you play C major? Now I remember my answer was this. I could play C major, open chord, C major bar chord with the root on the 5th string, C major bar chord with the root on the 6th string, and this really fancy C major with the bass on the 3rd. Now the next question he asked me was how many notes are in the C major chord. Now when he asked me the question, I already have been playing the guitar for a while, so I knew the answer. A C major chord has 3 notes, the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. But the next question was the one that really changed everything. Then he told me, how many strings do you need then to play a C major chord? I thought about it for a second and then I realized that I just needed 3 strings to play a C major chord. So now if you need 3 strings, this means that you can divide the guitar in different sets of strings. Strings 1, 2, and 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, and 4, 5, 6. Now a C major chord also has 3 notes. This means that there are 3 ways of playing the chord, right? Root position, first inversion, and second inversion. Now with this information, let's see how many ways can we play C major. Let's start with strings 1, 2, and 3. I have root position, first inversion, second inversion. Let's go to strings 2, 3, and 4. I start on second inversion, root position, first inversion. Strings 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to use an open string for now. I have root position, first inversion, second inversion. And to finish, strings 4, 5, and 6, I have second inversion, root position, first inversion. So now I already have 12 ways to play C major without doubling any notes. Now his next concept was also a game changer for me. To open up the sound of a triad, in this example C major second inversion, you can turn it into a spread triad by bringing the middle note an octave higher, in this case the root. This means that I can do the same with every other inversion starting on strings 2, 3, and 4. So if I go back to this one, I have closed triad, second inversion, spread triad, second inversion. Root position, closed triad, root position, spread triad. First inversion, closed triad, first inversion, spread triad. Now for strings 3, 4, and 5, we're going to play exactly the same concept, bringing the middle note 1 octave higher. So I'm going to start with this, root position, C major. Now here I have an open G, right? That's the 5th of C. Instead of using the open G, because it will be easier to just bring the 3rd an octave higher and I have this chord, right? I have the root, I have the open G as my 5th, and I have the 3rd an octave higher. So I'm going to replace that open G, that is the 5th of C, for the classic power chord shape, right? Now I have the root, the 5th, and the 3rd an octave higher. It's easier to do it this way because if, for example, I transpose this C major with the open G 2 whole steps up to E major, and I want to bring the 3rd an octave higher, I will have a huge stretch here, right? It's a little bit unnecessary. It's easier to do this. Same sound, different shapes. So again, I'm going to use the 3 inversions on strings 3, 4, and 5. So far I have this, C major, root position, closed triad, C major, root position, spread triad. C major, first inversion, closed triad, C major, first inversion, spread triad, C major, second inversion, closed triad, and C major, second inversion, spread triad. Now let's talk a little bit about this second inversion spread triad. We have a big stretch again here, right? On the higher part of the guitar is easier to play, but if I go to the lower part of the guitar, for example G major, the stretch is bigger. Now, for me personally, it's easier to play this way than to skip strings twice to go to the root, right? Here I have the 5th, the 3rd, and the root on the G and the B string, and here I have the 5th, the 3rd, and I'm skipping again string to the E string to get the root on that 8th fret of the E string. Now let's finish on strings 4, 5, and 6. We're starting with C major, second inversion. We're taking that second note an octave higher, C major, second inversion, spread triad. Then again, we have this C major root position. Now, if I bring the 3rd an octave higher, I have a big stretch here again, right? So it's easier again to play first that power chord, root, 5th, and then the 3rd an octave higher. And to finish, I have this C major, first inversion, right? I'm gonna take the 5th an octave higher, and I have this. So now this means that we have played C major 21 different ways without doubling any notes. Let me review that for you again. C major, strings 1, 2, and 3, 2, 3, and 4, 3, 4, and 5, and 4, 5, and 6. That's 12 ways. Let's play now the 9 spread triads. Now, once you can play your C major chords all over the fretboard, you need to understand a couple of things. In Western music, we have 12 notes and 4 types of triads: major, minor, augmented, and diminished. So here's an example of the 4 types of triads. C major, strings 1, 2, and 3, root position. I bring the 3rd down, C minor. I bring the 5th down, C, diminish. I bring the 5th up, back to C minor. I bring the 3rd up, back to C major. And I bring the 5th up, I got C augmented. Now, in diatonic harmony, meaning harmonizing the major scale, there is no need for the augmented triad. The diminished triad has a role to play here. Let me give you an example. If I play B diminished, that's the 7th chord in the key of C, and I put the bass on the 5th chord, that is G, I get a G7 chord, right? That's a 5th chord that likes to resolve to a 1 chord. So if you want to really understand diatonic harmony, learning your diminished triad is a must, right? Don't worry about the augmented triad. So now, do the math. I have 21 ways of playing a C major chord. We can also play 21 ways C minor, 21 ways C diminished, and we have 12 notes of music. The good news is once you learn one chord, meaning C major, C minor, C diminished, all you need to do is move those shapes horizontally all over the fretboard, and you will have different chords, right? Now, if you combine this information with the cage system, then you really have mapped up all the major scale all over the fretboard. Now, from there, the rest is on the right hand. Here's where the time and feel is. But yes, if you want to take your playing to the next level, learn your triads all over the fretboard.